Absolutely Mindy show on Kids Place Live. Hey, Tori.
Hey, Mindy.
So we were talking just the other day, or was it yesterday? And you were telling us how you found this new weed in your garden that you liked so much that you decided to pull the weed and then replant it in a flower pot and keep it in your living room window to nurture and watch it grow. So you found out that this weed turns out was not a weed. It was an actual flowering plant, right? But then you realized that the scientific name for that plant was just way too long, way too complicated. Do you have the name handy?
I don't, but if my memory serves, it was something like the hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah. Right. And that was a little bit of a mouthful. So you asked our listeners to come up with a new name for this plant, and they delivered, Tori. We got a lot of good name suggestions. And so how did you ultimately decide?
So I ended up picking the name from all of these wonderful suggestions by writing each name suggestion on a little slip of paper, crumbling that piece of paper up. I threw them all into a glass bowl, stuck my hand in there, closed my eyes, felt around, and picked one out. And that is how I named this plant.
So, you know what I'm going to ask next. What name did you pull out of the bowl?
The plant name came from a 4-year-old named Parker, who suggested the name Jungle.
Jungle the plant. That's a good name for a plant. But you had all of those other names that were not chosen. What did you do with those?
Right. Well, there were so many
suggestions.
So many great suggestions. And I had to be honest, I did have a couple of favorites that I did not pull out for this plant. So I spent the rest of the afternoon yesterday naming all of the other plants in my house. And then when I ran out of plants, I decided to start naming things in my refrigerator.
Oh.
So now I have a carton of milk named Mr. Words.
Oh, okay.
I have like a green onion scallion plant growing whose name is Freddie.
Aw.
And I named one of my chairs Magnus.
Magnus.
These were all based on the name suggestions that came in. I couldn't stop naming stuff.
Well, you remember these plants and objects in your home have names if they don't have googly eyes on them?
Ooh. Well, I've been taping the names to the object.
Oh.
Which has been helpful. But googly eyes would be even better.
I think so too. Googly eyes make everything better. All right, so glad that our listeners were able to help you come up with a name for your plant, and we're going to be asking for regular updates on the health of that plant as we move forward. All right, we'll be right back. It's the Absolutely Mindy Show on Kids Place Live.